Welcome to the Valve Studio. Hey, a friend here in town, his father's an antique dealer, and he came across some vintage tube gear that not only have I not seen, but I didn't even know existed until yesterday. I went over and took a look at it, and I'll go ahead and show you what I saw, and we'll talk a little bit about what he has. And if you know anything about any of this stuff, please let me know in the comment section, and I'll relay that information over to him. He'd really like to find a good home for some of this really unique equipment. This is a home for one of them. I ended up bringing home an amplifier today, and we'll talk a little bit about it and what I know, and we'll get a little demonstration here at the end. So let's get started. What you're looking at here are 3 Quartervox electric accordions, and over on the right hand side they have this giant umbilical cord that will come out and plug into these boxes that are on the right in front of them down at the bottom. And those apparently are tone generators. They don't have speakers in them. In fact, if we look inside, they're loaded with 12AX7s. So there's probably 35 or so in here, and they've got different. These are the oscillators for the electric accordions. And then this thing has another umbilical cord that goes and plugs into a combo unit that is an amplifier and a speaker cabinet. And so these things are monsters. This antique dealer has 4 of these, and he'd really like to find a good home. I didn't even know that electric accordions existed. If you know anything about these, let me know. So over in the corner, he had an AGC Bonham Stereo 330, which is a vibrato amplifier that I'd never even heard of before. Apparently, this thing has the same vibrato as the Magnetone, the famous Magnetone amplifiers of the 60s. And so I did a little research into this thing, and yes, it does have the same vibrato, because Bonham there is not John Bonham, it's Don Bonham of Glendale, California, who's the original patent holder for the vibrato circuit for musical instruments. And he was the design engineer at Magnetone. So as the 60s came to an end, a company bought Magnetone and decided to not use tubes in their designs anymore, but move to transistors. And so Don and some other people started this company called AGC, which is the Audio Guild Company. And they were selling these amplifiers, which is based on Don's original patent. So this does, in fact, have the vibrato section from a Magnetone in it. But this is a stereo amplifier, and I don't even know how this thing actually functions at all. It's quite a beast, and we took it out into the antique dealer's living room, and it turns out that in addition to just this amplifier, he has the satellite speakers that go with it. And so these are AGC 10As. These are 10-inch woofers, and inside the cabinet itself is a 12-inch driver and an 8-inch driver. So this thing's a beast. It has 3 distinct amplifiers inside of it. It weighs a ton. So here's the left-hand side of it. You have channel 1 and channel 2 and a dual input. Apparently there was a thing called a stereo guitar, which I didn't know about. And then channel 1 has the bass and treble and this thing called the Ultra Flex Balance, which I don't know what it is. And then over here you have channel 2, which just has volume and tone. And then it has the vibrato with intensity and speed and a reverb. And then you have the power switch over there as well as a standby, a hum reduction, and the fuse, and then some kind of remote control. When I picked this up, it must weigh at least 60 pounds. It weighs a lot because it's loaded with transformers. I did find some pictures of the internal with the amplifier pulled out. And what you're going to see in the back is, I think it has 4 transformers in it. No, it has 5. Whatever. We'll figure that out. Here's the original patent. It's 3146292, and you'll see that it is filed by Don Bonham. And it's a street address in Glendale, California. This isn't even assigned to Magnetone. This is assigned to him personally. And so he filed the patent, and he took it to this design into Magnetone and created the famous Magnetone Vibrato amplifiers. Here's the patent. Here's the first figure in the patent itself. Figure 20 is a standard vibrato, which is got an input selector for your microphone, turntable, keyboard, or guitar through an amplification system, and it's run through the vibrato and then power amplifier. Figure 21 shows the stereo version of this, which has 2 vibratos, 2 power amplifiers, and a voltage control circuit. And then I guess figure 3 is how they would test it. And figure 23 is they're running it through different vibratos with a high-pass filter in it. It's mind-boggling to me. It does have those variable controlled resistors shown in figure 24. Those are those RX ones, and then there's the sweep there. If we look at the tube complement in this thing, it is a beast. It's got 2 7025s in it, 2 7591s in it, a 1 6GH8, and 4 ECL 86s. And over on the left-hand side there, you can see that we can plug in these external satellite speakers and run both the satellites and the internal amplifier speakers, or just the external. Here's a 7025. This is actually identical to 12AX7, except it's got improved noise and hum characteristics. So this is the first stage. This is a dual triode. The next one is a 7591. This is a beam power pentode, and it's designed for audio amplifiers, and it's push-pull because there's 2 of them. And then here's the 6GH8. There's only one of these, but it's a pentode triode combination, and it's used in horizontal oscillator deflection circuits in television receivers. And then there's 4 of these. These are ECL 86s. These are, again, are triode pentode combinations that are used specifically in audio amplifiers. So if we go back and look at this tube complement again, I counted up 9 triodes and 7 pentodes in this thing. It's a beast. And there's 5 transformers in it with 2 speakers. It weighs a ton. Here's what it looks like from the back. So there's a power transformer, those ECL 86s, the beam power pentodes, 2 transformers, and the rest of the input circuitry, the speaker jacks itself. Here's the 12-inch speaker that's on the inside. What you'll notice is that there's no surround. You can actually see through the speaker to the baffle itself. And I looked up the number here. It is V12PXC2. I couldn't find anything on it. It is blown, so it needs new surround. So I took it out and I replaced it with a Jensen Jet 12-inch that I had laying around here. Here's the actual what the surround was. It's not the surround is broken. It's missing. It's completely gone. And so this will have to be reconed. Here's the 8-inch speaker that's in a separate cabinet in the back of the main cabinet, and it's a 8-inch Colrad speaker. And we're going to go ahead and switch over to AJ now. Too many effects, AJ.
All right. I mean, the amp has a pretty good natural tone. I would go as far. Now, be careful these fret edges.
Well, that was kind of special. AJ Fullerton just pulled into town today, and he said, "Hey, I'd like to come over and check out your stereo 330." So he was playing a Tele clone that I have here in the lab, and it's got really light strings on it. But that was after we had played around with these satellite speakers, and we couldn't get them to work reliably, or we didn't quite understand how this amplifier works. The middle channel thing, the stereo portion of this way this amplifier works, I don't quite understand that just yet. So we just disconnected those, and what we were listening to was two clips. First one was low volume, right only on using the combo unit without the satellites. That was low volume, and you were listening to the handheld recorder that I have that I kind of placed next to the amplifier. And then we decided to turn it up, and when we did that, the gain on the handheld was kind of messed up, so we went back over to the camera microphone, which is really quite crappy. But that's how it works. Well, you got an idea of what the sound comes like out of this thing. That it does have the vibrato, and it also has a reverb, and then so it's a unique sound, and he really enjoys it because it's unlike anything he has in his collection. But when we come back after I get the satellites working and everything's working functionally on this amplifier, connect the speakers, we'll mic everything with some real guitar microphones, and we'll really give it a complete run through. And I'll have AJ come back, and he'll go ahead and play us a couple more songs off of this, and we can show the way that the stereo 330 actually sounds. Again, if you know anything about those Quartervox accordions that I showed at the beginning of this video, please let me know, and I'll forward that over to the antique dealer so he can find a good home for those. All right, well, thanks for watching. This is the Val Studio.